All right, all right. What's going on? Fantasy football, Baker's dozen. Fantasy football, week 6 or 7, I believe it's 6 for us. Things popping off as usual. This video was really, really late. I apologize for that. It's been a hectic week, man. Hectic week. All you married brothers out there with kids or without kids, all you brothers out there dating single mothers with kids, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm gonna go through a quick recap of the league. Gonna change things up a little. Well, change a little bit. I mean, I'm still gonna do the normal wrap up and preview, later in the season. But today I'm gonna change it up a little bit. Approaching the halfway point of the season, close to it, and with the amount of moves that have been going on, man, I figured it'd be a good time to kind of like reintroduce everybody to everyone's team. So many moves. I mean, for years I've been trying to get brothers to make moves and be active in the league and hit the waiver wire and do all those things. And y'all wait till this year, I mean, I'm happy, but y'all do it all at once. It's like there's no one on the waiver wire for the bye weeks right now, and that's because there's been a lot of injuries too. But and it's just been a ton of trades, man. So that's actually really good. The making moves is what makes the league fun for me. I don't know about you guys, but makes it a lot of fun wheeling and dealing. And that's what I think is going to qualify me to put managing this fantasy team on my resume when I go to be a general manager of a real professional NBA team. So, you guys keep answering my phone calls so I can get my practice in. I'm going to go through the records right now. Moneymaker, my man John Guerra. I guess you guys missed in the beginning introduction. I've been talking to John. It's my neighbor, lives across the street. He says all you guys have been coming at him with trade after trade. He does have a deep team. I didn't really realize it until like a week ago. His team is strong, man. He's probably one of the best receiving corps in the league. And he has Aaron Rodgers. I mean, softening the blow of lessening or a subpar Rashard Mendenhall, but this guy is crazy receiver. So you guys have been sending him trades, and he's laughing at them. You guys ought to know he's a lawyer by trade. He's a tort lawyer, so he deals with offers back and forth all the time, and he's laughing at you guys. So you guys need to step up, come correct, because I don't think you're gonna get a dollar from him for 98 cents. It's probably gonna be a dollar for a dollar or a little bit more. Probably you're gonna have to overpay because he's sitting in first place. He really doesn't have to make a move. He's 4-1 right now. He won last week. He's in the top of the league and Division One. Second place in Division One is my man Timmy. Off constantly. He may be changing his name again, but I hope no time soon. And I hope he goes on a losing streak so I can say the little nasty, tasteless joke. Beat off constantly in a league full of nothing but guys. Actually, Keisha, my cousin's in this league, but 12 guys and one girl. We're all sick. Anyway, he's 3-2 on a 2-game winning streak right now. My man Dre Day has been active a little bit these last few weeks in the league. He's trying to improve that god awful team of his or whatever. He made a few moves, made a bold move, trading CJ2K, Chris Johnson. He traded him for actually it should be right here. Yeah, he traded him for Devery Henderson, Steve Smith, and Aaron Hernandez. So we'll see if that works out for him. He's sitting at 3-2, so he's not really like desperate right now. Actually, there's a lot of parity in the league, with the exception of John, Team Moneymaker. Everybody's pretty much within a game of each other, other than Bird Brain, who's lost 4 in a row since his first week. We got that win in the opening week, but excuse me. Team Dread has 3-2. Show me your TDs, my man Sam. Struggling a little bit right now. He's 1-4, but he's 1-4 on a 2-game losing streak. He's still trying to find himself from the tragic loss of Jamal Charles, his first pick. But all you guys may not know Sam, but I do. And Sam is as game as they come. He's not going to give up. He's going to keep gleaning and searching that waiver wire. So if you hear any inkling of anybody, Isaac Redman or whoever, getting some run, you better get to the waiver wire quick, because Sam doesn't let any grass grow under his feet, and he's going to be around, picking everybody up. In Division 2, Sam Hilliard, my man from San Antonio, one of the big, Eric, I don't know, this may be the biggest, John, this may be the biggest Cowboys fan I know. I mean, you guys better step up. He named his team Cowboys Country, America's team, and right now He's doing pretty well. He's leading Division Two after making a flurry of moves, 3-2 on a one-game winning streak. And then the Garden State Greatness after starting out the season 0-2. He's 1-2 in a row. He's 2-3. Right back in the thick of things. Had to, sip on my yak, $200 suit. But Garden State Greatness, my man Lardary, he has a really good team too. I mean, he's the one that was crying about having all these points and not enough wins. And he may have a little bit of a point there, but you still got to play the right guys on the right week, and obviously he hasn't done that. But Deshaun Jackson is waking up for him, so we'll see how that plays out. He sits at 2-3, right in the middle of things, right in the thick of things. But I don't even think he'll get a trade done, because this is a guy that he has something, $1 worth of something you want from him, you have to give him $3 worth. This guy wants you to overpay for everything. I offered him a trade to try my Philly, my Eagle hood, fly Eagles fly. I tried to get Deshaun Jackson from him. And before I even offered anything, I asked him if Deshaun Jackson was available. He told me to start with Vincent Jackson and let me know who else I was going to send to him. I kind of, knew where that was going, so I didn't reply to that. But anyway, that's the kind of stuff you can expect if you're trying to make a deal with Team Lardary. He's 2-3. PA Monopoly, after that god-awful trade, looked to be turning things around, 1-2 in a row, but he lost last week. But he's still in the thick of things. He knows something we don't, because his team is definitely performing. He has 2 great defenses, some other guys that have been stepping up. I'll go through the rosters later. And, he's right back in the thick of things. I don't know if my pit bull cousin Alana took a bite out of his ass or something and made him wake up and get back to it, but he's definitely rejuvenated. And the Bird Gang, my man Qua, barbecue chef extraordinaire, he's actually catering in Philly right now. If any of you brothers in Philly need a catered affair, that's the man to talk to. He's lousy at the fantasy football, but the man throws down in the kitchen. He's 1-4. Got to go through his roster too. He's made a ton of moves, but he's actually revamped his sad roster. So we'll see how he does. In Division 3, the quiet mouthy one, Dane Blackwater Blackheart, man, Irvin, 1-2 in a row, and he is in first place right now, tied for first place in Division 3 with Who Wants It with D Block? Absolutely nobody. And the Lord of the Rings, yours truly. And then closely behind is my brother Corey Rose, who has another talent-stacked roster and is underachieving with it. This guy doesn't really know who to play on a given week. You got to simplify things, Corey. Get your main starters and get those guys that you're going to use all throughout the week and in the playoffs if you make it. And then all the other pieces, after you make it through your bye weeks, try to trade those guys and get, something solid or whatever, get some starters so you won't have to make too many decisions. Sitting at 2-3 on a 2-game losing streak. Started out the season well, but kind of stumbled upon hard times right now. So those are the standings right now. Divisions 1, 2, and 3. And we're going to go to the rosters really quick. Go to the rosters and kind of just reacquaint everybody with who has what. So we start off with Moneymaker, the first place team. He hasn't made many trades, so he still has most of the guys that he he only has one guy by trade. I think that was a trade with Timmy. He got Miles Austin, Mendenhall, and Rex Grossman. He gave up Matt Forte and something, but he has Aaron Rodgers. His running backs, Ahmad Bradshaw, Rashard Mendenhall. Yeah, Bradshaw's solid. He'll give you, he won't break the bank, but he'll do some good things for you. Mendenhall's, still nursing that hamstring injury. John's waiting for him to come back into form, but those receivers, man, Calvin Johnson, Megatron, doing big things. Stevie Johnson, solid and steady. Miles Austin, a superstar when he's healthy. And then he has Pierre Garçon, coming into his own, getting a lot of chemistry with Curtis Painter in Indianapolis. He's looking good there. He has Beanie Wells on the bench at running back, so a lot of depth there, and it's obvious why he's in first place. Garden State Greatness, 2-3. He hates Tony Romo. For all you guys looking to make a trade with him, he hates him. He's looking, to move him, but you're going to have to overpay for him. And I don't know anybody in their right mind who will overpay for fucking Tony Romo sexual. Excuse me for cursing. But he does have a solid team. He has AP, who ran just crazy over Kansas City last week for 3 touchdowns. There's Deshaun Jackson, Mike Wallace, and Jimmy Graham, who he got off of the free agency, the waiver wire, along with the Bears defense, who in real life are terrible against stopping the run, like my Eagles. But fantasy-wise, they score a lot of points because they get turnovers and they get those punt yards and kickoff return yards. Ryan Matthews again doing well for him at the running back position. Who wants it with D Block? Struggling as of late, had a lot of injuries early in the season, and then they got bit by the waiver wire bug. The waiver wire, the bye weeks, his last couple of weeks, but they seem to be getting everybody back. After this week, they should be pretty strong. Um, Andre Johnson should be back in a couple of weeks. Big Ben Roethlisberger looked around in the form last week, and Felix Jones and Darren Sproles are solid, but they need a receiver to step up, whether it be Manningham or Bolden or Olsen. Someone's going to have to hold down the fort until Andre Johnson gets back. My man Sam, show me your TDs. Like I said, made probably the most moves. You look at his roster, and everybody on there, with the exception of two people, Mike Williams and Mark Sanchez, are on this team via trade or free agency. Way to go, Sam. He's traded everybody. And his team is comparable. He has, Greg Jennings, AJ Green, solid receivers, Daniel Thomas, Maurice Jones-Drew. This is a team that can compete. And I know what Sam is thinking. Just get to the playoffs and anything can happen then. So kudos to my man Sam doing, great things with his roster after he was just lit up by the injury bug early this year. The Blackwater Black Card, man, my man Dane, just really hitting the free agency wire, not really doing any trades or anything, but he's tied for first place right now, so I guess he really doesn't have to do anything, but it will be nice to hear from you, Dane. Put something on the message board or sound off and let somebody hear you. Cowboys Country America's team making big trades on his roster. Everybody is either trade or free agency, with the exception of Mark Ingram. He actually beat you, Sam. One guy that was drafted, like one of the original guys on a franchise expansion team or whatever. Everybody else is either trade or free agency. This guy's definitely taking a page out of Sam's blueprint. Just get to the playoffs. Put a team together that can get to the playoffs, and we'll see what happens then. And then finally we got, actually 6 more teams. Off constantly, got to speed this up. Off constantly is Tim, and he's off constantly, so who cares? But he's a solid team. He's the one that made that trade for Arian Foster, just raped my man Bronze or whatever. But he has Arian Foster and Matt Forte in the background, and Matt Stafford. Those are his anchors, and if Roddy White can round back into form, he's going to be very, very strong. As I said, Corey, my brother, has a solid roster with Tom Brady, LaShawn McCoy, Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis. He has a lot of talent. He just needs to know who to play on given days. PA Monopoly, again, after that lousy trade, he's put together a strong team. Drew Brees is really carrying this guy. Ernest Graham was a good pickup for him because LeGarrette Blount went down for a little bit. Scott Bronze, even though he made that lousy trade, he seems to be in tune with the NFL and making timely moves. He picked up the Bengals defense. Surprisingly, they're one of the better defenses in the league. And the Ravens defense, man, is just carrying this guy. And if he can get anything out of Plexico Burress and Brandon Marshall, he could be someone to be reckoned with also. Lord of the Rings, yours truly. Since I gotta save time, there's no reason to go into my team. Just know I'm the Lord of the Rings for a reason. I will not stop until this thing is done. You all get a invite to my VIP Velvet Rope Party, championship party at the end of the season. Team Dre Day. Cam Newton, great pickup, and he seems to be working in his silent way because he just made a trade for Steve Smith. And if you're going to roll with the rookie Cam Newton, you need his number one option, and that's Steve Smith. Good move by Dre. He needs to find out what he's going to do with Jordy Nelson and Steven Jackson. Those guys have been waved around as trade bait, but I think he's going to hang on to those guys and see what he can get out of them, especially in the second half of the year. Next, we have Matt Schaub, and he's on the Bird Brain Gang quad, making a lot of moves. Most of his guys on the team. He has a few draft guys, but most of them are free agency and trade as well. He's looking to get a little bit of mileage out of Ryan Terrain and that Washington Redskins running system. He needs to drop the Eagles defense, as I have in another league. Jermichael Finley could get him a little bit of mileage. And Dwayne Bowe looked to be coming back into his form last week as he and Matt Castle hooked up a couple of times. So great job by all. Oh, and he has CJ2K and Larry Fitzgerald. So Quad's definitely looking a lot stronger this year or these last couple of weeks. But as I said, man, lots of moves going on. You guys keep it up. Good luck. Hope you guys enjoyed the little rundown of everybody's rosters, getting reacquainted with everybody. And I hope it helps keep the moves going in the coming weeks. This is your Commissioner Big Leak, aka Big Meech, wishing all you guys good luck. See you next week. Peace.